It was 2015 and my little sister and I, along with a few of her friends, were going camping in a forest in Maine. I couldn't tell you the name of it. She wanted me to go because I'm older and more experienced with camping, but was it weird going camping with a bunch of 14-year-old girls? Yes. I won't share my sister's name, but here are her friends' names. They were Casey, Barbara and Lexi. My sister insisted I slept in a separate tent than her and her friends, and I was okay with that, really. So we bought 2 tents along with her and her friends. With that, I packed the usual camping supplies, food, water, tools, and in my case, a rifle. I always take a gun with me while camping because I'm a paranoid guy, and I always like to feel protected when I'm in the middle of the woods at night. After a pretty long day, I helped the girls set up their tent and then I worked on mine alone, as they were all sitting in theirs gossiping, talking about whatever 14-year-olds talk about. When I finished, I put the fire out. Being the older brother, I of course felt responsible for my sister and her friends, so I moved my tent really close to theirs. I turned on my reading light and continued where I left off in the book I was reading. The chattering of the girls in the next tent was a bit distracting. At one point, I heard them talking about a certain boy, and then the conversation switched to Snapchat. I heard Casey mention that she didn't have Lexi on Snapchat and asked for her username. I really didn't mean to eavesdrop, but they were speaking very loud. Lexi gave her snap. About 5 to 10 minutes later, Lexi mentioned in a confused voice that some random person added her on Snapchat. I raised my head from my book a bit as my interest. It was a bit being said suddenly increased. The other girls told Lexi to add the person to see who it was. A few seconds later, they were going on about how the person's Snapchat score was so low, only like 7. I was really paying attention now. Apparently the person got sent a message saying, "Hi, send me a pic." And then 4 of them laughed at this moment. They were kind of whispering and giggling, so I couldn't really hear what was being said. But after all, they erupted in laughter. I could only guess they sent some kind of funny picture. After some silence, I got chills when I heard all of them scream. I grabbed my gun and ran outside to their tent. My sister screamed that there's someone outside of the tent. I shot the gun into the air 3 times as a warning, yelling into the woods at the same time. I then crawled into their tent and my sister hugged me. I of course asked what happened, pretending like I didn't already know half of it from listening to their conversation. And they explained everything. Lexi added the random person back who sent their message mentioned earlier, and I suspected she sent back an ugly group shot with her friends. The person then sent back a picture in response. It was a self-picture of what they described as an old creepy dude smiling at the camera, standing right in front of their tent. It gave me chills right down to the bone listening to their story. I was freaked out myself. They all wanted me to sleep in their tent that night with them, so I did. The next morning we cut the trip short and went straight for the car. What could have been a great weekend memory with my sister turned out into the biggest nightmare of both of our lives.